cool things about Onyx is we have access to our leaders like this. You have access to your leaders like this. You can ask questions and get your concerns, get your questions heard, concerns heard, and get total transparency here. What's kind of cool with that comes, you learn a lot about your senior leaders when you have that kind of access. Jason alluded to that meeting in Thousand Oaks. We went to Pablo's office to kind of have a meeting beforehand to prepare, and Pablo has a very wonderful big screen in his office that we project slides on. Well, we used paper copy that day because on the flat panel he had the World Cup going on. so he's cheering for it, and so we start the meeting. He doesn't turn it off. He kind of closes the wood panels a little bit, but you can see the game going on the whole time. So we got a lot of confidence in that meeting. So thank you guys. I can't think of a better way to end today than with a patient. You've met Donn at the national meeting. Donn Ernst, you know him as a coach. You know him as a man who runs an important foundation that serves children wrestling with cancer. You know him as a myeloma survivor. I'm going to read a few things. He is a true champion for cancer patients, and everything he does is for people. Children Wrestling with Cancer Foundation, its mission, to make it easier for kids to keep doing what they want to do as long as they can. Since 2002, he has raised over $30,000 for those kids. Part about knowing Donn is he's become a champion for Onyx as well. Advocating for patients with multiple myeloma, and as he said in January, and I quote, "We are a community, we're all connected, and we're all in this together." What stood out to me is toughness. We'll get to see a little bit of that today. Passion for helping others. We'll get to learn more of his stories within the next 10 minutes with Donn here today, so please join me welcoming a family member to the stage, Mr. Donn Ernst. Welcome, Donn.
Great to be here.
I know, it's great to have you.
But it's great to be alive. That makes you want to be here.
Well, let's talk about that. You shared your treatment. What was going on? You were on Kyprolis back in January, and if you remember, speaking to the audience, you were diagnosed with multiple myeloma in 2008. Tell us how treatment's been going.
It's been going good. Still productive, and that's what we live. That's what we want to do. If I'm productive, I can keep helping children being productive. So it's a connection.
Fantastic. Well, in January, you talked about the kids, you talked about the coaching, the work. You actually brought some video with you. You guys want to see Donn in action? Yeah. Oh, we both video.
After you see the Schmitz goal. That was in Yakutsk. Doing some coaching. One of the few coaches in the world that have been invited to coach in Russia. One of my athletes was competing. He was one of the first two to compete in Czechoslovakia.
Everybody knows where the plane walks. Everybody knows. And you have to realize that if you want to become really good at this sport, then you have to put the time and effort in. I go, well, what's he do? What's he able to do? What's he able to do? He can take both laps with the same technique.
happens. You know what it is, like different environment.
Yeah.
You know, this is like taking candy from an infant.
Well, tell me, Don, you shared with me a number, and I think it's an important number for the audience. How many kids do you think in your career you've touched, you've coached?
Well, I probably individually coached over 500, probably done clinics, probably about 40,000
40,000
over the years.
Now let's talk about the 500. So individually coached, you've been asked to coach individuals. How much money have you collected coaching those 500?
Zero.
Don does it because he wants to.
Well,
Pretty cool.
well, the deal is, I never charge anybody coaching, and but I have a couple demands, and that is academically, make sure you keep up your grades and you hang out with good people, and that's a requirement. That if they want me to coach them, I'll be glad to do it. I can make a lot of money doing this, but you know, you show me your grades, and I'll be glad to work with you for nothing.
Fantastic. I remember from January, Don, beyond coaching, important to you is family, and you spoke about your mother. Talk to us about some of the lessons that your mother taught you as you grew up.
I think that family has a lot to do with where we go. And we don't know the impact until we get older. When we're young, we don't know. We're just kids, you know. We just do that sort of thing. But grew up with a single parent. My dad left when I was 9. My brother was 11. And my mom was awesome. She goes, when he left, I thought about your sign over there about New Hope, New Heights. You know, and she definitely set the bar of, you know, he's gone. He wanted to come back. She said, no, I'll do this by myself. And she did. And taught us a lot of values. Just the same responsibility that we all have, whether we have family or we don't have family. We're an impact on a lot of people. So a couple of those stories. This was back in the 50s during the civil rights, when things were really a lot different. Language was a lot different. She put my brother and I on a bus. I was 11, my brother was 13, and we lived in central Jersey, and we get into Wilmington, Delaware, and they changed bus drivers. And I go to the bathroom, and, you know, excuse me, I'm giving you the scene of 1950s. And they said, I went to the bathroom, and the colored folks said, we must be in the wrong bathroom. And I go, no, it's okay. I come out of the bathroom, my brother says, there's one for the colored folks, one for the white folks. There's a color fountain for the colored, one for the whites. We get on the bus, and I'm only 11, and my brother's 13, and there was no DIFUS at that time, you know, because that's unheard of, that, you know, you put your kids on a bus to teach your father some responsibility. So we come out we get on the bus, and the bus driver says, well, okay, all you ends, get to the rear of the bus. That always hurts. And so we get back home and tell Mom about my experiences. And she goes, well, what did you think? I said, everybody's entitled to equal opportunity. Have an equal opportunity. And she said, that's good. So we get home, and now, you know, things are rough. I mean, you know, there's no food, you know, maybe, you know, like leftovers. We just eat leftovers, and, you know, leftovers are gone. Well, Mom's getting paid in another day. We can wait. Toughness, you know, we couldn't complain. She was working 2 jobs. So I come home and go from Florida and go, Mom, I need money. She says, go get a paper route. So, you know, get a paper route. got older. You know, kids get older, they want more money. So, 12, she'd get another paper route. So I got another paper route. Well, by the time I was 16, 17 years of age, I had 195 dailies and 215 Sundays. So you talking about learning responsibility at an early age. That's what she did. There's so many things that she did. You talk about toughness. And I graduated high school when I was 20, learning disabilities, you know. But today, both my brother and I are college graduates, you know, because of the word never quit. So I'm coming out of graduation, and she meets me. She says, here's $10. Be home at 12:30. You have an interview at your uncle's factory in 3 days. You're off my car insurance, and you start paying rent when you get this done. This is my graduation gift. Thanks, Mom. 4 years passed. And, you know, back then, kids either loved girls or cars. You know, it was one or the other. To me, it was cars. So, she comes home from work. There's a new car in the driveway. She's irritated, you know, and she says, I see you bought yourself another brand new car. I said, no, it's not mine. She said, well, whose car is that? I said, yours. You bought me a new car. What are you supposed to do when a parent goes through that? Because we're all in this thing. And we need to be connected that way. It isn't about the challenges of when you're down. It's about what do you do to meet those when things are not going good. One final thing, and I was a little ahead, every kid loves no school, especially a snowstorm. Who doesn't, you know? We even do it maybe as an adults. And so she goes, so snowstorm, you know, Mom's home, yeah, breakfast, that'll be great, you know. Come downstairs, no Mom. You know, finally an hour goes by, you know, so well, I better call her workplace. Finally, they get her on the phone, and I said, Mom, you're at work. She said, where else am I going to be? I said, well, the car's in the driveway. She said, it wouldn't start. You know? I said, well, how'd you get to work? It's a 5-mile walk. I walked. I said, you walked 5 miles in a snowstorm? You know, how else are these bills going to get paid? Hung up the phone, you know. That meant one thing, and only one thing. That driveway better be shoveled by the time I come home from work. So, we're right back to this thing about how do we get here, where we are today? And a lot of it has to do with family and faith and what we believe in. And our good qualities come from what our parents taught us versus the idiots that we used to hang out with. You know, and we know we have a couple of them on our plate. But, you know, I tell the kids that, you know, when I do stuff like this and I talk about family and faith and how important that is, about education, and use wrestling to get educated. And then what do you do? And a lot of that has to do with attitude. You can control attitude. Effort, I can control effort. And execute, I can control those things to bring the best out of myself. And that's what it's been about. I mean, you know, and then I tell the kids, it's who you hang out with. And I know right away whether I'm going to have, you know, I can talk to that kid, I'll give you a chance, but you better show me that report card first, and then put the pressure on them. But I just want to thank you for being here, and I know really, really quickly, You guys ran over time, so am I. But really quick, that last speech that I did with Onyx is on, if you go to Donn Ernst Onyx, and if you haven't, I hope you do, there's over 300 hits on that. Just through, isn't like what Donn Ernst is doing, it's what you're doing. And that's why it's so easy to come out here and be with you and say hello and meet you one-on-one and just say, not only thank you to me, but those over 13,500 patients. Because we're there getting that treatment. And you don't know the impact that you have on people. And that's one thing, that the message that I have for you. But I just enjoy being with you. And, if I could shake each and every one of your hand, and I know you'd say thank you. And I would say, I thank you more. Because you've given me an opportunity to do what I can do to help children with cancer and other things. But I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and God bless, and Amazing Grace, how sweet it is.
And he found, fortunately, our portal. And Donn, you went online and you requested some money to support your efforts for 2014 and 2015. 2013. I don't even know what you were. For the next 2 years. And I'm happy to say that we're proud, on behalf of Onyx, to present you a check for $23,705. Donn celebrated his 70th birthday. And Donn, tell us, you didn't have a proper birthday party. Tell us how you celebrated that birthday.
I have to, please sit down. Let me tell you a story here. In fact, I'll tell you about this Onyx thing. Okay, well, I'm sorry about Onyx, But it's like, one day I was treated. I had Tuesday and Wednesday treatment. And by 9:30 in the morning, I was done with treatment, and by 11:30 I was on an airplane going to the NCAA College Nationals. So there's no room for, hang out, stay home, feel sorry for myself. not when there's other children with greater needs. And that's so important, that what we're all doing, why we're all here. And I look at, my brain is going 1,000 miles a minute right now. Can't buy a new car, but I certainly be able to.
I don't know if that's how it's intended.
But we're given such great opportunity. And people go ahead and it's not about me. It's really about helping others. And Onyx has given me that strength to do that. My illness, there's other things going on. And it involves children, because they're our future. They're greater resources. We need to get home and hug our kid. And we need to learn how to say no to them. And they're the things, it's like people say long term. People say, I live day to day. I'm not going to live day to day. I got things to do. And I really do. I have things to do. day to day. Stop that nonsense. You know, and I mean that sincerely. You know, my schedule is when I leave here, I get home and I'm leaving for Iowa Sunday. And I'll be there for 10 days. I'll be in Iowa City, then Ames, and back to Iowa again. And then back on a plane and then back for 3 weeks of treatment. And after that, I'm headed to Ohio, all for the foundation of awareness and raising some money. And then we do a clinic in Allentown. And we're, you know, so stop it. Stop it.
Okay, Don, that's a call to action, I think. So the day-to-day piece, and we're not in it day-to-day. I mean, that's the message here. We're in it for the long haul. You, on May 29th, you turned 70, and you were on an airplane. Fatigue was obviously not a side effect for you. You got on an airplane and flew, and you reunited with your 1979 World Wrestling team, right?
That was a tremendous event.
Only 12 of these jackets exist.
Only 12 of these jackets exist. That team, the 79 team, you know the boycott of 1980, and you know, because we invaded Afghanistan. But the question is, then why did Afghanistan compete in the 1980 Olympics? That's a question we're still answering.
Hey, Don.
But you know, but I really thank you.
Can we give you that proper birthday celebration that you didn't get because you were on that airplane? Do you mind if we sing you happy birthday? All right.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Don. Happy birthday to you.
You're why we do what we do. I hope you keep Don in mind all week long because it's all about the patients. Everybody have a fantastic week this week.
Ladies and gentlemen.